What's up guys, I'm setting up my new studio, so everything looks very off at the moment, but I'm also enjoying this raw, no filters look where you can see all the wires and all my screens, because this is how my studio actually looks when I'm actually building stuff, right? So it's almost like you are behind the scenes with me and we're building stuff, and that's like a very nice feeling. Anyway, so welcome, and today we're building something really awesome. We'll be using LangChain, a very popular library that makes it easy for us to use LLMs along with Golang to build a vacation recommendation system. So it's really simple to run this program or to work with this program. All we have to do is we have to export our OpenAI API key and then simply run it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that and then come back and we'll run the program. So I have set my API key, and all I have to do now is go run main.co, and this starts off the server on port 8080. And now all I have to do is I have to just go ahead, open up another terminal, and then run a few curl commands to interact with the APIs that are running on this other terminal. So I go ahead and I open up another terminal and I enter a post command, like using curl. I'm going to call my API, and the API is /vacation/create. It's running on obviously port 8080. And I'm passing in some things like my favorite season is summer, my hobbies are surfing and running, and my budget is $1,000. So please recommend a good vacation for me. So I go ahead and hit this, and it starts saying generating new vacation with ID this. Okay, so this is the ID it's assigned to me. And I have to wait till I get this message, which is generation for this ID is done. The reason is because AI is generating the complete vacation recommendation for me. And once it's done doing that, now I can call the get API with this ID to get the suggestions from AI. So we're using a database, but it's not actually a database. We'll be using just a slice that will behave as a database, and we'll keep storing all the previous generated queries from AI in the program, and then we'll just use that to fetch it. So what I've done is I've copied the get request here. I'm again calling port 8080 and /vacation and / the ID for that particular vacation. So the ID I got from here, generation for that ID is done. Now when I go ahead and hit that, I get a complete recommendation from AI, right? So it's saying, based on your interests in surfing and running, I've created a travel itinerary for you within your budget of $1,000 for a summer vacation. Destination is San Diego, California. So it's giving me day by day plan. So day one, I arrive and do some stuff like sunset, boardwalk on the beach and all that. And day two, I go to the state natural reserve and breakfast. Day three, I do something. So it's giving me a complete plan for $1,000. So it's saying I can spend 3 days in San Diego. I don't know if I can do that, but yeah, all right. That looks like a good plan. Okay. So, but if I follow the recommendations from AI, I would be able to manage within $1,000 at San Diego. But yeah, all right. So that's the this is how the program works. Now let's go ahead and start building it. Now before we do that, you know that we always go through a small plan. This program is not very big. It's very simple, straightforward, and it's not meant to be intimidating, because obviously probably you're using AI with Golang for the first time. And most definitely, you're probably using LangChain for the first time with OpenAI and Golang. So this is why I didn't want to build a very intimidating example. If you want bigger projects, obviously I have courses. I have paid courses that you can check out, which use AI and Golang together to build production level applications. And you'll find the link for that in the description of this video. Yeah, it's on Gumroad. And in case you want to check out more free content, there is a lot of free content on this YouTube channel. There is a playlist for about 60 Golang projects now, I think. So do check them out as well. So we're going to have a main.go file, okay, which is where every Golang project begins. And that will obviously have a main function. And then I'm going to have a vacation router where I'm going to have all these routes. So there are just 2 routes actually in this case, just create and get. But the way I could have not created the router, but I did it because in case you want to use this code and extend it, you can do that. So you have a create and get route, and then this calls a function called generate vacation, which again calls a function called vacation idea, and then this get calls a function called get vacation, and get vacation basically gets the vacation from DB. And in this case, the generate vacation, the vacation idea function, it actually calls OpenAI and then it pushes the recommendation to DB. And so we're basically pulling from DB and then showing it to the user when the user calls the get API, which is exactly the example that I just showed you. Okay, so just two APIs, create and get. Create calls the AI and pushes it to DB. Get just calls the DB, the particular ID from DB. That's all we are doing. So now let's start building the code together. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll create a new directory for this. We'll call it Go LangChain YT for YouTube, and I'm going to cd into it Go LangChain YT, and I'm going to go mod in it with LangChain Go. That's the name of the project. And now I can just check it created the go.mod file for me. I'm going to go ahead and open this up in my VS Code extension. I'm using high contrast VS Code template so that it just is very clear for you to read, because some of you use different types of screens and it's not always the same experience everywhere. And some of you have requested that you use television screens late at night with very low brightness, and you want high contrast, me to use high contrast templates, and that's what I'm using right now. I'm going to have a very simple folder structure. I'm going to call it chains, routes, and each of these will have a structs.go file, and a vacation.go file. And there will also be the main.go file at the root location. All right. And in the main.go file, I'm going to be calling it package main. And I'm going to import one of the packages that I need, which is Gin, to be able to set up my server. So I'm going to use Gin. And then I'm just going to have my func main. Routes dot get vacation router. Okay, that's it, straightforward. Now this get vacation router is what will have all of our routes. So let's go ahead and set it up. So I'll go to routes folder, vacation.go file, and this is actually my package routes. Even the other file will be package routes. Okay, and similarly here these two will be package chains, and again package chains. So we have to open this vacation.go file, and here we have our function called the get vacation router. So func get vacation router, and it's the same one that we saw here. So from our main.go file, we're calling the vacation router function, and this is going to take in router, and it's going to return gin.engine, and the router group is /vacation. And that's our router group, as I mentioned, so router.group. And I'm going to store this in the registration routes variable. And now I'm going to set up my two different APIs. The first one is called is a post API with the post method, and it's called /create, and I'm obviously going to handle it with a function. And the way you call this is with the help of the registration routes that we created right here, dot post. And inside this, we'll first start with a variable which is called request. Now, for this request, I will be defining my own request and response objects, and that's why I have my structs.go file. So let's go ahead and do that first. So first things first, let's create a vacation, what the vacation looks like. So we create a struct for vacation here. So I'm going to say vacation. This is what vacation looks like. It's a struct, and it has an ID, it has completed, and it has idea. Now when I call the create function, when I showed you the demo, I called the create route. What it does is it first creates a vacation, and the completed is in the beginning it's false, because the idea for the vacation is being generated by AI. Only when the idea has been generated by AI do we make it true. And then when we call the get method with the particular ID, we return this complete object where completed is true. You know, once we tell the user that, hey, your generation request for that particular ID of vacation, it has been completed, that's when it becomes true, and that's when we share the idea with the user. Okay, so that's how it works. Now ID is, for ID I'm going to be using the UUID package. And for completed, we're going to be using Boolean. And for idea is of type string. So that's my vacation struct. Now in my vacation.go file here, when we create the database, so I told you that we'll be using a database where we'll store a request. So from the user, when we get a request and we send it to the AI model, we create, and when we get back the idea for the vacation from the AI model, we'll store it in a database. And when we call the get method, when the user calls the get method, then we retrieve that from the database and we get it to show it to the user. So that means we are storing it somewhere. And we don't have to create a database because this is just a POC, and we can just create a slice that acts as a database for session storage. In the sense, if you stop the program right now and you use it again, you won't be able to access that particular idea that you had generated in the previous session. So it's just session storage, and that gets the job done, and that's what we want to do right now. That's what we want to see, right? We want to focus on the AI, not on database functioning at the moment. So we have vacations, which is a slice of the struct vacation. So vacation is something that we just defined right now. So just a collection of multiple vacations. Okay, so that's why it's called vacations. Now coming back to our routes folder, where we were creating our route, and we wanted to create a request object. Now the reason I created all of this is because now it just makes sense for us to create the request object and what it's going to look like, so that you have an idea. And here I'm going to have three different things. One is the generate vacation idea request. This is what the user is going to send us and going to tell us that, hey, this is the data that I want you to consider, and these are the fields that I want you to consider, and based on this, give me the vacation ideas. So the user has a favorite season, he has some hobbies, and he has a budget. So favorite season is string, and you have the favorite season. And hobbies are a collection of string, because it can be multiple hobbies. Hobbies, and then you have budget, which is integer. And that's in JSON. This is what it looks like. Okay, so because we're working with an API, in the API, the fields, they don't have capital letters, and that's why we have hobbies, favorite season, and budget. They look different in JSON. They look different as far as Golang is concerned. This is how it looks in Golang. This is what it looks like in JSON. And in struct, we define like that 1:1 mapping of how this looks. And the next, we have generate vacation idea response. So we'll say type generate vacation idea response. So again, a struct. Here again, I have my ID, and it is of type uid dot uuid and completed with boolean. Now this struct is going to be used when we're going to be calling the AI model. So that's why I just have the ID and boolean, is it complete or not. I don't have the idea field, right? So if you remember from vacation, there's an idea field. So I don't have it yet here in the response, in the final response, because there is one more struct after this where that will be the actual response that we send to the user. So here we're just observing or noting down whether the request from the AI has been completed or not. Once it's been completed, then we want to store the idea that the AI has sent us, and this is what will be there in the response that we send to the user. So in the response we send to the user is going to have ID, completed, and the idea. Now ID is the same as the one we define in vacation, which is uuid.uuid, and this will also be the same. And completed again is the same as this, and the idea is the same as this, string and idea. So you copy that and you paste that here. Okay, so everything makes sense. These are the three routes, three structs that we require here. And now what we'll do is, sorry, this looks a bit off. Okay, this looks off as well. Even though I have formatting on, sometimes it just misses. Anyways, now I can go back to my vacation.go file from my routes, and here I can create my request object like I was creating, and this will be of type generate vacation idea request. And why didn't it generate vacation? Oh, it's not type. Okay, so it's type. Okay. And we're going to bind JSON to the request, and we'll handle the error here. If it's a bad request, we'll handle with just simple JSON message, bad request. Else we have http.status okay. So if the request that we received right now, it's based on the struct, right? So we defined request object as a struct, and we are checking after binding the JSON, like the request that we received right now, does it match the struct that we have defined? So what's going to do is it's going to check each of these fields here and going to match it with this. So are you receiving this in JSON, this in JSON, this in JSON, and then we're going to get these fields out of that. And if everything's working fine, then we will just say status okay. But if it's not working fine, then we'll say bad request. And if everything is working fine, then we want to call this generate vacation function that we talked about, this one. Okay, it's going to exist in the same file, so we'll just have to define it here somewhere. So it'll be func generate vacation function, takes in generate vacation idea request, and it responds in generate vacation idea response. That's what it returns back. Okay, and here, once you've done this, you have one more route to define, okay, which is the slash ID, the get by ID route. So for that, what we're going to do is we're going to say registration routes dot get slash ID comma the same thing, and we're going to parse the ID that we receive in the parameters. So c dot param, because you'll get the ID in the parameters with the help of context. So you'll say c dot param ID, and we'll use the UUID package to parse it. Okay, if while parsing the ID, if there's an error, we want to handle that error with the help of bad request. Okay, and then we have the here, if everything went well, right, there was no error, then we're going to call a function called the get vacation function, and going to pass the ID in that. So the get vacation function is this one. So we'll have two functions here, generate vacation and get vacation, along with the vacation router, everything in this file. So here I'm going to create my get vacation function as well. So func get vacation application idea response. Sorry, I just realized that this vacation spelling has been wrong up until now. Let me fix that quickly. Okay, everything looks fine now. And here in get vacation, I'm going to be returning the get so the get vacation ID response, not the generate one. I'm going to get the get vacation ID response, because here the user is going to send us an ID and we want to send back the actual response along with the idea. So the actual response along with the idea is available to us in get vacation ID response. That's the one I want to send back. And I'm going to be calling my chains package here because that's where I will be having all the functions related to the database, because I'm going to be pulling, like as you know, I'm going to be fetching the vacation idea from the database, right? Pulling from the database. So here I'm going to be calling get vacation from DB. I'm going to pass ID to it. Okay. And if at this function we are yet to create, this is the function that I'll need to create here to work with the database. And if there is an error here, we're going to return get vacation ID response, comma R error. But if everything went fine, we're going to return get vacation ID response. Okay, so here it was empty, but here we're going to return the actual response with which will have the ID, right? So V is going to have the actual vacation fetched from the database with the help of the particular ID, and that V will have an ID. It will have a field called completed. It's going to have a field called idea, and here we're going to say completed equal to and equal to this. So that's our get vacation function. And while writing this, I saw that here by mistake, instead of putting a comma, I had put a dot. So I'll fix that now. All right, coming back here, we're calling the get vacation ID function, get vacation by ID function, and we just created this function here, and this will generate a response or an error, and if there's an error there, we'll just say ID not found, right? But that means, what this means is that we have asked the AI model to generate the vacation idea for us, but it's not yet generated, or the second thing is that it's just the vacation with that ID is just not there in our database. Maybe the user had generated it in the previous session and not in this session, and that could be one reason why he's trying to access that ID, right? Or maybe he made a typo in the ID. So our job is to check the ID in the database and just say that, oh, it doesn't exist. So we'll just say here, if error is not equal to nil, status not found, comma gen.h, not found, response, and finally we're going to return the router from this function. That's what we are expecting, right? We're expecting to return the router. All right, then let's complete our generate vacation function. So what we do is we start with an ID and we create a new ID, new unique ID, using the UUID package, and we are going to essentially call our generate vacation idea function. So this one, this function, which will actually exist in the chains folder. So here we'll have a function that we'll be calling. So let's not call it right now because we don't have that function ready, but yeah, but all you need to know is that we are going to call a function here that does the job for us. So let's go to vacation.go here, and here we'll say func get vacation from DB, and we'll get from DB here. And the next the other function we have here, right, so the first function we called is this one, the chains dot get vacation from DB, and the other function we're calling is the one that we'll call here. So chains is basically from this package and slash chains, which is this from this project, and from the chains package. We'll import that package in shortly. So let's go back here. So get vacation from DB, and the next function we have is generate vacation idea. I'm going to call it generate vacation idea change, just to remove any confusion that I might have. And it takes in a few fields. It takes in the budget, season, and hobbies, right, based on the struct here for the vacation idea request. Because if I'm to be generating using AI the idea for the vacation, I need these three things: favorite, season, hobbies, and budget, which the user is sending to me. So here I'm going to be saying budget, which is of type integer, and season, which is of type string, and hobbies, which is a collection of strings. And I'm going to log out generating new vacation with ID. Okay, so we'll just tell the user that, hey, we are generating a new vacation with this new ID, the new ID that we just created, right, in this function. This one, this is the one that we're passing there. So when I'm doing this, when the AI is working on the idea, when it's working on generating the idea for the user, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and push something in my vacations database. So vacations, even though it's a slice, it's actually doing the work of a database in our case. So I'm just going to go ahead and append to vacations this v basically being a vacations based on the vacation struct, which has idea completed and ID. So it's of type vacation, and it has an ID which has the value ID. It has a field completed, which in the beginning will be false, and has an idea that's empty at the moment. And we will use the OpenAI package and create a new instance for it. So we don't have the package right now, but we got the UUID package, and let me also get the OpenAI package. The OpenAI that we want to use is actually from LangChain Go. So I'm going to get LangChain Go and multiple packages from LangChain Go. So I need LLMs, I need OpenAI, and I need prompts. So this is my OpenAI. Okay, creating a new instance of OpenAI, and I will also need. So by the way, this is the heart of the entire software. Like, this is the place where we actually call the OpenAI API using LangChain. So here we are going to say OpenAI.new, and then whatever we get back is an LLM, error. And just before this, we're gonna have our context that we get from the background, and if error not equal to nil, we're going to print out error and the value of the error, and we're going to hit return from this function. Then we want to make use of the prompts package to send some prompts to the AI model. Okay, so we have our system message prompt. Okay, we have our system message. If you've called the OpenAI API, you know that there is a system message, which is how the AI actually is supposed to behave. Then you have a human message, and then you have the prompts where you'll pass the system message and human message and so on. Now, before we move further, I just want to tell you about my video that I just launched, which is how to run LLMs locally with Golang. So you might want to check it out. And then if you haven't checked out my Golang videos, so there's a huge playlist with these 57 videos. Sorry, it's 57. I thought it's 60 now. It's almost reached 60. There are these 57 videos of, it will become 58 obviously after today's video. So there are all these Golang projects that you might want to check out. And then there is this playlist which has multiple Rust projects. And then we have this playlist where you have technology architect course and system design course. So you might want to check those out if you if you're interested. And then I have 39 projects that use LLMs, large language models. So many of these are in Python, some of these are in Golang. So you might want to check out this playlist also. So it's just, there's like a lot of more stuff to do on this channel. So you can, check it out, of course. And if you want my really advanced paid courses, then I'm akhilsharmatech.gumroad.com. And these courses, like the Golang AI Masterclass, which is more than 20 hours, I think it's 26 hours of projects where we build 6 really advanced projects. The 6th one is like extremely advanced. I think this is just 9 hours, just this one alone. So where we build, where we get AI into the terminal itself. So if you've used Warp or if you've used Wave, all of those terminals, they use AI, right? They have an AI assistant built into the terminal. That's what I show you how to build in this. And then we also build Kubernetes as AI assistant, Terraform, AI Copilot. You can check out these courses. The other one is the Ultimate Golang Bootcamp, where I teach you like Golang, and it's 15 hours of just Golang concepts. That's it. So we go through each concept in a lot of details, and I highly recommend doing this course if you are not very confident with Golang, or if there's something that you have not understood in my free YouTube videos, and this is the one that I highly recommend you check out. Apart from that, I also offer private mentorships. In case you're interested in that, and if you want to talk before committing to something like this, you can hit me up on you can just hit me up on LinkedIn or Twitter, any of these. You can just tag me on Twitter and put a post, or just message me on LinkedIn. Any of these actually work if you want to talk before committing to anything like this. So that's about it. Now let's get back to the project. So the first thing we have to do is define the system message prompt. So I'm going to call it system message prompt string. So what's the exact string that we'll be giving to the AI? So I've created this for us, and this is what it's going to look like. So we're going to tell the AI that, hey, I want you to behave as an AI travel agent that will help me create a vacation idea. And you will take in these fields: season, hobbies, and budget, right? So you'll take in these 3 fields that we're passing as function from the user. And I want you to create a nice vacation idea for me. Then I also have a human message. So I'll create my human message prompt string, which has write a travel itinerary for me. And here, using that prompt string, I'm going to create a system message prompt. And here I'm using the prompts package from LangChain, and going to call this function called the new system message prompt template, which helps me with a template. And I can just pass in all the things that I've created, like the message prompt string, and then also along with that the season, hobbies, dollars, all of those things. Okay, so that's my system message prompt and my human message prompt string. And now I can create the human message prompt, which has prompts dot new human prompt template. And here we are passing the human message prompt string that we created earlier, along with a slice of strings, which is empty to begin with. And then we're going to create our chat prompt, which is what we will send to the AI. So the chat prompt is going to have our system message prompt and our human message prompt. So using the text strings, we created our system message prompt and human message prompt, and now we want to send that into chat prompt. So chat prompt is equal to prompts dot new chat prompt template, and in that I'm going to say prompts dot message formatter, and in that I'm going to pass my system message prompt and my human message prompt. All right. In the chat prompt, we also need to pass some values, where the values are the season, budget, and hobbies. So for that, I'm going to use a map, and here I'm going to have season, and the value of season is season. I'm going to go with any because I don't know what the second field could be. So instead of saying string, I'm just keeping it open because budget is going to be number, right? And hobbies is actually a collection. And here we're going to say strings dot join hobbies and we're going to format this message. So we'll say format messages with the values, and this will be in chat underscore prompt. You get access to messages, and here we'll handle the error. So if error is not equal to nil, using the log package to print the error, and now we'll start setting up the content. So there is something called as the content, which is going to have all the message content, which has the values, the chat prompt, the human message prompt. The chat prompt actually has the human message prompt and the system message prompt. So all of these things will be part of the content, and the content is what we need to pass to this function called generate content. And this generate content function is available to us in the LLM package, which is in the LangChain Go library. So I'll just paste it here again. Sorry. Okay, I've not started using it yet, so that's why if I save it, it'll just go away. But this is the one that we want to be using. And sorry, I mean the LLM here from OpenAI, which is OpenAI.new. That's the LLM that I'm talking about here. That's the one that we'll be using to generate the content. Okay, and we will be using the LLMs package also soon, but here we are using LLM, which is OpenAI. And what we'll get back here is completion. So we'll get back the response back from the LLM, which will be handled in this variable called completion. And here we can also check for our error. So in this line, if there is an error, we'll handle it here. So we'll say log.printf error v comma error return. And in our completion object, we'll have a choices. So whenever we call the API and whenever we get the response back in completion, we get multiple choices back from the from OpenAI. And in this case, I'm choosing the first choice, which is at the 0th index, which is the first choice, and the content of that completion message. And that would be the idea. That would be the idea for the vacation. And because the LLM has replied and the completion has completed, as in the AI model is done generating the idea, vacation idea for us, we can say v dot completed is equal to true. Okay, and then finally we can say log dot printf generation for this ID is done, where ID is v.id. Now what you want to work on is this content, right? So content basically is using the LLMs package and helping us create the message content. LLMs dot text parts, and we're going to have a type and some content. So messages is our chat prompt basically. So it has two parts. One is the type, so we'll say messages 0 dot get type the message, and messages 0 dot get content. And I'll just copy and paste this again, and here instead of 0 it will be just 1. All right, so now we are left with this function to create, which is the get vacation from database. So all it does is it just traverses this vacations collection and finds the particular vacation with that ID for us. So we use slices dot index func for this, where we have vacations and we return okay. So what we're doing here is we are essentially taking in vacations, okay, and then finding the value with with that particular ID, okay, and that we'll have in this variable called idx. Now if we don't find that value, so then it will be -1. So the value of idx will become -1. So which means we want to handle that scenario. So if idx is less than 0, which is idx is -1, we want to return empty vacation object along with an error saying that ID not found. And otherwise, if everything went well, we want to return vacations and available at that ID or that index, and that's the one we want. Alright, so we have our file completed, vacation.go, and we also have our struct.go file completed in chains. In our routes, we have structs.go completed, and here we just have this, we have to work on this generate vacation function, but everything else looks alright. So let's work on the generate vacation function. So here you start with ID is new ID, and you use go to start off a go routine to use chains being this package that we'll now import. So to import that package, we'll just say the name of the project, which is LangChain Go. And we'll say /chains. Alright, and here we're going to say chains dot generate vacation idea change function, passing in the ID, budget, favorite season, and hobbies. And we want to return back the vacation idea response, which will have the ID and completed equal to false. All right. So now we want to just go through the entire project, see whatever is, if there are any errors somewhere, we'll fix them quickly, and then we'll just go ahead and run the project again. So while going through the vacation.go file and routes, I found that this is getting repeated. I don't know why. So it should be just generate vacation idea request. That's it. And yeah, that now looks good. Now in the main.go file, we want to also import our routes. So we'll say LangChain Go /routes. And here in the routes structs.go file, I can see that the UUID package that it got for me is wrong. So using a lot of plugins, as you can see in my case, it does mess up the project more than it helps you in many cases. I still use it because otherwise a lot of people watching my videos, they find it uncomfortable using why are those plugins not being used. They are being used. It's just that they mess up projects, and when you're building something in production, you just want to be very, very careful. Right now we're just doing POC, so I don't really mind, but if you're building something for production, you just want to be very, very careful. And so I'm not using any AI tool today. So I'm not using Cursor or Windsurf. I'm not using ChatGPT, Claude, because like what I want to do is very, very simple. And if I use any of those tools, it'll just add a layer of complexity into something that's going to be very simple. And it's just like a few files, few lines of code, something that I can very easily handle. I've built much bigger projects, and I feel I don't need to use AI for this. Now we know that there will be some errors, right? So we'll just go ahead and run main.go. But before that, I think we should run go mod tidy to get all the package that we need, and then we can go run main.go. So now we can see there are some issues, right? So there in the vacation.go file in chains, line 18, there is some issue with vacations, and here there's an issue with OpenAI, and here there's an issue here and here. So now let's go ahead and fix all of these. So when I go through the code, I was going through the code, so I found that there is an issue here at vacations, because vacations actually has a capital V. So I'll fix that, and that should solve one of those issues there where it said vacations not detected. The other thing is about OpenAI, and which I had kind of included earlier in the package. So let me go ahead and get it again. It's not letting me keep it LLM/OpenAI, and I don't know why that is when I'm definitely using OpenAI down here. Yeah, it's because the new function actually should have a capital N, sorry. So I think that should fix it. And now I remember that there was an issue here as well in this line, and that's because this is actually a collection. It's actually a slice, and that should hopefully fix it. Okay. And now when we go ahead and run it, I should see some new errors, not the same ones. Sorry, I'm using the CRT monitor. So let me clear it and let me go ahead and run the program again. And now I'm getting some more issues. So let's go ahead and solve those as well. And that issue has to do with the fact that instead of this, we should have put a slash here. All right. So because I've been doing this for a long time, so I don't need to use OpenAI to fix these issues for me. But if I have faced like a much bigger issue, then I would definitely be using ChatGPT. So you can feel free to use that in case you find any issues anywhere in your program if you built along with me. So now if we go ahead and run it, we'll say go run main.go, and we'll be able to see the program working. And we'll just need to open up another such terminal, and then we'll interact with that. Because our program is dependent on OpenAI, so we'll have to go ahead and export our OpenAI key, and that's what I'm going to do here. So make sure you do that as well. You enter your OpenAI key. Once you've done that, now we can go ahead and run our post query. So I'm going to call the /vacation/create route that we created together. I'm going to pass in summer, hobbies, the same stuff actually. You'll just pass in the same stuff just to see if everything is working. So it starts saying here generating a new vacation with ID. The ID looks slightly wrong to me. It shouldn't be it shouldn't be this, right? It should be something like this. But let's see if it still works with this. If not, we'll go ahead and fix it. Okay. So that's the whole idea. Like now you don't have to be ever scared of errors because AI will fix it for you. But otherwise also Golang is like a very awesome language, and you don't really have to worry too much if you run into an error. You will be easily able to fix it if you just pay attention to what it says in the terminal at compile time. So we'll just go ahead and paste this ID, and here I'll get a nice little answer. So now it's giving me again San Diego, California, and it's giving me but different things to do this time. I have, instead of a 3-day, I have 4-day program, 3 nights and 4 days, and it's saying that I can still do all of this in $1,000. So let's hope I can do that. All right, so the program works perfectly well. I'll put the code on my GitHub. I'm Akhil Sharma 90 on GitHub. You'll find code of most of my projects here. That's where I put everything. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel in case you haven't, because there's just a lot of awesome content out there on the channel. There's a lot of AI related stuff. There's a lot of Golang, system design. There's quite a lot of technical architecture, a lot of stuff that you will really like. Rust is also there, right? A lot of blockchain related stuff is there as well. So make sure you don't forget to subscribe, and do check out my paid courses on Gumroad. So the link for both of these courses will be in the description of this video. If you don't find it, then I'm just Akhil Sharma Tech, TECH, which is, and .gumroad.com. That's where you'll find all of the courses that are available. And if you don't know about me, I am the founder at Armur AI. We're a VC-backed company. We use LLM agents for code vulnerability scanning. If you wanted to use Armur, go ahead and use it. And if you wanted any more credits, just message me on any of the like LinkedIn or Twitter or anything like that, and I'll give you credits to use on Armur AI. Like you just have to tell me, or if you're there on our Discord. So by the way, I forgot to tell you about our Discord. we have a Discord channel, Discord server, so you make sure you join it. We talk about a lot of Golang, Rust related stuff, so make sure you join it. Messages are failing to load, I don't know why. Yeah, but yeah, we have a huge community, I think more than 1,000 people now, so make sure you join it. This is a cool place to hang out, ask questions, and all of that, and probably talk to other people and get some freelance projects or even jobs. So this is just a great place to hang out. So the link of this is also it's not in the description of this video maybe, but it's definitely in the in my YouTube profile. Like in my YouTube profile, the link would be there. So make sure you join it. And yeah, so apart from Armur, on my weekends I mentor developers, like I mentioned, like senior developers, and because it's just the weekend, so I don't get a lot of time, and sometimes I can only take like 1 or 2 people at one point of time where in the private mentorship, and because there's so much demand for it, so I'm planning to go for a cohort, like where I can teach multiple people at the same time, or I can coach multiple people at the same time. And I will put a link to the wait list for that cohort in this in the description of this video. Do fill up that form. It won't be as expensive as this. So this I charge $5,000 for a 1:1 mentorship. That will be just that'll just like $1,000. It'll be very affordable because it's like you're learning in a group, and it's focused towards system design. It's focused towards advanced engineering concepts, focused towards technical architecture, data engineering. All of those things is what we're going to be learning, and that will be about 3 weeks. No, sorry, it'll be about 6 weeks. Yeah, it's about a 6 weeks cohort that I'll be running. So make sure you fill up that form if you're in case you're interested, and we can talk, and I'll put you on the wait list. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this, and we'll keep building awesome projects in the future. So I'll see you in the next video.